Stop looking for it from somebody else. Yeah, stop looking for it from somebody else. 2468, who do I appreciate? Appreciate yourself. Bring it yourself. And you'll leave here with something. Somebody say amen. Such beautiful hymns and praises. I certainly appreciate them so very much. Psalms 42, verses 1 through 3. And I want to just actually read the whole text, but the first verse says, as the hart panted out the water brook, so my soul pants out to God. My soul thirsts for the living God. When will I come before thy presence? Verse 3, my tears have been my food day and night, while they continually say to me, my enemies, where is your God? When I remembered these things, I poured out my soul within me. My soul was just in agony. For I used to go. I want you to underline that. I used to go with the multitude. I was counted among those that went with them to the house of God. I used to go. With the voice of joy and praise, I was singing with them, with the multitude that kept the annual pilgrim feast. Now I'm saying to myself, verse number 5, why are you so cast down? Why are you so depressed, oh my soul? Why are you so disquieted within myself? He says to himself, hope in God, for I shall yet praise him. In spite of my situation, I'm still going to praise him. For the help of his countenance. In other words, I need to be in his presence. Verse 6, oh my God, my soul is just so cast down. I'm so dispirited within me. Yeah. I will remember you from the land of Jordan, and from the heights of Hermon, from the hill of Mizar. Verse 7, he reaches real down within himself. He says, deep calls unto deep. In other words, I don't need nothing shallow. I need something deep. At the noise of your waterfalls. All your waves and billows have simply gone over me. The Lord will command his loving kindness in the daytime, and in the night his song shall be with me. A prayer to God for my life. Let's all say amen. Reach over and touch your neighbor on the shoulder. Everybody touch somebody. Reach over and touch your neighbor and say, neighbor, the preacher's going to talk about surviving life.
Surviving life.
Now look at them with intensity and say to them, neighbor, how are you surviving?
How are you surviving?
Amen.
Amen.
How are you surviving? Solomon, stand up, son. Good to see you, good-looking young man. You left him a boy, now you're a graduate. Let's say amen.
Right.
Praise God. Good to see you. You're not no little boy no more. Amen. It's good to see you, son. All of our graduates are back home. I know they're scattered here and there. But we're going to honor all of our graduates as well as those that are being promoted to the next grade level, especially our seniors. Seniors, remember this, if you want your recognition, your name recognized and your graduating recognized, JADA has at the very back a sign-up sheet. We do this every year. It's our traditional to honor all of our promoting, graduating, even those that may be in some kind of trade school or any other higher learning institute. Please go sign up that where we can honor you and make it known to everyone that we value education around here. Someone said once, if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Just try it. And you will discover that ignorance is much more expensive. And so we want to honor it. So parents, make sure from grade school, kindergarten, preschool, whatever level of grade that your young child may be in, please sign them up. We cannot recognize them unless you do so. This will take place on the 4th Sunday of this month. Y'all say it with me. When will it take place?
Sunday.
One more time.
Sunday.
Immediately after worship service, we will not have Sunday school that day because we're going to commit to dedicate that afternoon completely to our growth graduates and those who have been promoted. This particular psalm is quite interesting, as all of the psalms they are personal hymns, praises. Oftentimes, when you read the psalm, you may think that David is the sole writer or the author or the editor of the psalms, but he is not. Many of the psalms was written by the sons of Korah, which were musicians who held a ministerial position in the temple. And their sole responsibility, I'm going to do a series on that for those that condemn isolated singers who take charge of the worship. What you all do on Sunday morning, where's Jeremy and Ray? What y'all do on, where is it? Oh, I said, what y'all do on Sunday morning, this is what the Lord had a long time ago. Amen. The sons of Korah were individuals set aside to be in charge of the worship service. Number one, let me get this out of the way. Everybody couldn't sing in that group. Come on, help me out here. It wasn't no whosoever will let it come. These individuals, this is Bible, I'm not making this up. These individuals were set apart particularly for worship service. And these are the writers of most of the hymns and psalms in the scriptures. This particular psalm is written by the sons of Korah. There was several of them. And they was writing because they was in exile with the king, David, who was under great adversity from either Saul, who was the king before him, or his own son Absalom. Regardless of the situation, they are basically running for their lives. And because they are under such great adversity, this psalm is birthed out of, and I want you to see this, I want you to see the importance of worship and coming into the presence of God. This psalm is birthed out of their exile. So in other words, it wasn't like they wasn't going to worship. They couldn't go to worship. And because they couldn't go to worship, Paula, they had such a great passion to be in worship. And so this is what this psalm is all about. It is writings about their turmoil, their adversity, their pain, but most importantly, this is what I just want to do a side note for us. Most importantly, they wanted to be in worship. And because they was not in worship, it meant that they was not in the presence of God. Which means to say that we should not take for granted the Lord's Day. Because the Lord's Day is a day that we all should come to worship and seek to be in worship, to be in his presence. When you look at this psalm, the analogy that the psalmist used is quite profound. Because it is not well with his soul. It is not well with his soul. And when you think about it, it shouldn't be, because whenever you're out of the presence of God, your soul is in jeopardy. He uses a deer, a female deer, a hart, to characterize how determined and how desperate this heart is. Notice what he says when he says, as the hart pants after the water brook. Now you have to understand just a couple of things before I really get into the body of this. To really appreciate what the psalmist is writing about, he compares his life and his situation to a desperate, determined female deer that is not walking. She is not strolling around. She's not simply grazing in the grass and saying, what a beautiful day. This female deer is running for its life. Oh, Brother Olson, how do you know it's running? That's because deer don't run. Deers don't run just to run. They don't run around and say, look how fast I am. They are defenseless creatures. They have no claws. They have no sharp teeth. They are very fragile. And they stay in a state of fear and anxiety all the time. And you may ask, why do they stay in a state of fear and fright all the time? Well, for your information, deer meat is pretty good meat. It's pretty good meat. It's venomous. There you go. It's pretty thirsty. It's pretty tasteful meat. And to the wolf, to the cougar, to the bear, it's a pretty good meal. And it is running for its life. And so the psalmist depicts the deer compared to his soul. And just like the deer has found itself in an adverse, oppositional situation, he is saying also, Robert, that the soul also is challenged with adversity. He places the urgency, I want you to see this. He places the urgency right before us to convey unto us the importance of understanding the circumstance and the time by which it is facing in the moment. He is saying that unless the deer makes it somewhere, unless the deer tracks this source down, it will soon run out of energy and be caught by that which is chasing it. Its source of energy now is not no more grass, it is water. Do y'all see this? It is water. Because it is panting so much, it is perspiring, and because it is perspiring, it is panting heavily, which means that he needs to be, or she needs to be replenished. And the only way that it can be replenished, that it could continue on its journey to safety, that it has to make it to the watering brook. So look at the song now in light of that. As the heart pants after the water brook, so my soul pants after God. My soul thirsts for the living God. When will I come to thy presence? Brothers and sisters, let me tell you something. You are desperate. Every last one of us in here are desperate. And we're desperate in the sense that because of what's chasing us, we have got to understand the importance of making sure that we satisfy that which we need in us